I was in the process of writing a book in honor of my dad's military service about the most decorated in each of our wars, starting with World War I. And when I got to Afghanistan, I came across Lieutenant Murphy's information. He had been awarded the Medal of Honor about 8 months prior to my coming across his story. And I thought the story was very compelling. And so I was doing more internet research, and of course now being the age of the internet, everything is online. And I found out that his father, Dan, was the judge advocate for the Military Order of the Purple Heart, and there was an email address. So I sent him an email one evening, and about a paragraph long, and he sent me back a reply about 18 minutes later that said the family would be honored, and a week later I'm on Long Island, New York, watching the post office be dedicated in his name by then Senator Hillary Clinton, and that's where we started. I did have the opportunity to spend weeks with the family. You got to do the entire emotional gamut. Over beer and pizza, we shared, or they shared Murph stories, and they laughed and they cried and all of that, and then to be able to go over to and actually spend time in Michael Murphy's room. His mother completely set out all of his awards, everything that she had for Michael, and I got to spend a couple days just sitting in his room, looking at the walls and looking at the awards, and really getting to read the articles of when he was a kid and played softball and played baseball and football and hockey and those kind of things. You really started to get a sense of who he was. And I turned to Dan and I asked him, in the flow of the conversation, Dan, what do you think Michael got from you? And what do you think he got from his mother? His parents are divorced, but they're still good friends. And I remember Dan says, well, I can tell you right away what he got from his mother, his caring and his compassion. But Dan had to really stop and think about what Michael got from him. And finally he came up with, well, maybe his determination and his drive, but he says, I'm not sure about that. To me, that was very striking and very compelling, that even through a divorce situation and everything that's going on, Dan could see what Michael had gotten from his mother, but he had trouble seeing what he got from him. To me, I thought that was very telling. I did my best to try and relate what I got out of it into a Seal of Honor, but I think we do a better job in the movie Murph. After a work comes out, people and more information comes out, or the family says, oh, I remember such and such. And as an author, you're thinking, oh, geez, that would have been great to know, so we could have put that in the book. But we have the benefit of being able to do the documentary to fill all of that in. What we were able to do with the camera and with the documentary is to actually show that emotion. And it really augments the Seal of Honor book. And I think putting them both together, you get about as an accurate total picture of Michael Murphy that you could possibly get.